Hello! Hi everyone! My name is Carol. Thank you for joining us for the second episode of the Pit Lane. I'm super excited about this episode. I'm super excited about revamping our production. So, for those that don't know me, my name is Carol, also known as Blingwolf to the community. I'm the studio lead over at Original Fire Games, and this is the Pit Lane, where developers and community members talk about all things Circuit Superstars. I'm really curious to hear about what kinds of content you'd like us to cover here. This podcast is very much a starting experiment. So I'd really like to know what you'd like to see, what you think is interesting, what kind of stuff you'd like to learn more about. If you want us to talk about game development or motorsport, etc., just let us know in the comments or in the chat what you're excited about. So I am your host, Carol, and behind the scenes I have Andrew, who is behind the scenes but very present. Andrew, thank you for helping us with the production of the stream. And also behind the scenes but very present is Crimson, here to moderate the chat. So ask us questions. We'll have a bit of a Q&A at the end of the stream, so ask away and we'll get your questions from Crimson, and Nico and I will get to them. So before we get into today's topic and our guest, I'm going to tease that at the end of the stream, I'm going to give some exciting news. For those of you players who might be peeking through the fences and haven't joined us in the racetrack, these news are going to be for you, my friends. So hopefully you'll stick around. So on to today's episode of The Pit Lane. We're going to be talking about the competitive community of Circuit Superstars. And if you're in the Discord or not, or on Twitter, you might be seeing a couple of different leagues pop up. And there's been many more racing in the past couple of months since we introduced custom lobbies. So I'm excited to have Nico Minardi here to walk us through the competitive landscape of the community in Circuit Superstars. And we're going to talk about what kinds of leagues there are and which ones you should join. Nico is an absolutely wonderful person. He's an incredibly skillful driver. He's a streamer, he's a Circuit Superstars community moderator, and kind of a natural teacher. He has been a shining member of the community since early access back in March of last year. And he's always creating and promoting a very welcoming environment. Nico, welcome to the Pit Lane.
Thank you for having me.
So to get started, I would just love for you to introduce yourself. Whatever introduction you want to complement through mine. Go for it.
All right. Well, I'm Nico Minardi. Minardi is of course not my real name, but the name of my favorite ex-Formula One team. They always finished last, basically.
Not you though. Kind of reclaiming the name.
I have one to tell them all about all of this, but then again, I don't know how happy they are that I'm running their name. But I'm born in 1985, so basically when consoles started to be a thing, that's around the time that I was a kid. And we was not one of those Nintendo families, we was one of the Sega families.
Oh, okay.
Sega
so
Mega
funny.
Drive.
Yeah. It was totally like that. We were a Nintendo family, and then at one point we had access to a Sega console.
Okay,
we traveled to France for some stuff, and that's when we discovered Sonic, and we had quite a lot of fun playing for a summer.
Sonic the Hedgehog, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when during my childhood, like around 1992, I was 7 years old. Sega became the main sponsor of the Williams Formula One team. And they was pretty much ahead of their time if I think back, because they had I don't know if anybody remembers, but the Williams had Sonic on the side of the car, so it looked like he would sit in the car. Yeah. But they had a competition in Austria nationwide in the electronic store chain, the biggest one in Austria, where you could go there and drive time trials, basically, in front of employees who noted down your best times. And it was like a 2-week time frame in all of Austria, and in the end they would compare the times and pick
that's
two
amazing.
winners.
Yeah.
And the two
Nice.
winners would be getting VIP weekend as guests of Williams Formula One and like all this
Okay.
treatment that's around it.
Yeah.
And after these 2 weeks, my father and I both was first and second place in Austria.
That's
And
amazing.
so that was basically the start of all this. That was the first sim racing competition I experienced, basically.
Amazing. Wow. Just way back in the day. How old were you at that point?
I was 6 years old.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
And with 7,
Nico
we
racing.
went to Hungary then, yeah. To do all
Okay,
that.
nice. And so
Yeah.
that kind of leads me to my first question. I wanted to
Okay.
know a bit more about your love for motorsport. Obviously, like it must have roots in this event that you shared with us. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, definitely. So basically, that was the start of it all for me. Although I watched Formula One earlier already, and my grandfather that I never met was a hobby rally driver. Anyway, like this event when we went to Hungary to the Formula One Grand Prix, that sparked a huge passion in me, of course, because we got to hang out with Damon Hill and Alan Prost, and I ran
so
past
cool.
Senna, and
Yeah, that's amazing.
it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, like I remember it was the race Sunday in Hungary. I said to my father, I want to become a Formula One driver, and it stayed like that for the next 12 years.
Oh, yeah.
And I went into karting and was pretty successful there. Very successful, actually. But we are in Austria, and we don't have we have Red Bull, but back then the Red Bull Junior program was not really a thing, or just about to start.
Okay.
I think they discovered Vettel around that time. But there was no real money to move up. I won pretty much everything that you could win in Austria.
Yeah.
And went to America for the Indoor Kart World Championship then. But had 2 Formula 3 tests, but there was no money to move up. Yeah. And so I found Gene Rally back then.
Gene Rally,
racing.
Yeah.
And basically that's what I did for the last 20 years until Circuit Superstars arrived.
That's amazing. Yeah, Gene Rally was it's so interesting to hear all this story, and I had kind of learned about it through our conversations, but I didn't know that the depth of the racing experience. It reminds me a lot of my brother's experiences as well, where specifically Charlie went from RC car racing to kart racing, and yeah, at one point racing gets quite expensive. It's definitely a matter of luck and finances. Unfortunately, just not just skill. But yeah, Genie Rally is such an interesting space. I don't know how much people in the chat know about it, but the community seems to a lot of people come in and they're like, oh yeah, I've seen you, you're Genie Rally.
Yeah, exactly. Like Black Rebel, I think 15 years ago or something, we would have already crossed paths in the forums.
Oh,
and now
definitely.
We found each other again, and I
Circuit
recognize
Superstars. Yes, exactly. Nice. Well, thank you so much, Nico, for joining us today to talk a bit more about the competitive community. I really like to have provided that background because I think that you've been competing in racing for a long time, and you've always been very excited about what's possible within Circuit Superstars. So let's get to it. So can you walk us through the different kinds of leagues that there are right now and what kind of racing they do?
Yeah, so there's a whole lot going on and it's moving parts. I liken it to basically when Circuit Superstars released, we had this big bang, and now all the stuff is forming basically. The leagues are the planets, and they're forming through the matter that Circuit Superstars created with the Big Bang.
Nice, I love that metaphor.
And so there's a lot of experiment and exciting ones, and they get adjusted, and so it's a lot of moving parts. I would say the oldest or the most established league that we have at the moment is the ICSTC. It's a long name, but after a few months, you
Yeah.
you remember it.
Can you remind us what the acronym stands for?
Yeah, the ICSTC is the International Circuit Superstars Team Championship.
Nice. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one my dad
Yeah.
belongs to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Basically it was created. Formerly it was the South American Circuit Superstars League. But yeah, they did things very well and was very well organized. So more and more people flocked there, and then it became more than just the South American League. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a whole ecosystem with Pixen and Moritopin, the founders, because they don't just have one. They don't just have one league. It's basically a whole environment. So you have an amateur division where complete newcomers can drive. It's similar to the single player difficulty levels in Circuit Superstars.
Yeah.
Where you have an amateur division, a pro division, expert, and so forth, all the way up to the superstar division. Yeah. And so there's a lot of space for drivers, and everyone can basically drive within their skill set and rise the ranks, because after a season you can get promoted or demoted.
Okay.
So, yeah, and that's very well organized in terms of there's reliably gonna be points posted at the end of the race, and the tables are kept current, and there's already a bit of history. We are in the 4th season now. So,
that's amazing. Yeah.
That's our unofficial World Championship of Circuit Superstars so far, I would say.
Yeah.
Then we have... Yeah, sorry?
I was just going to say, quite a lot of work from the organizers there that they're doing. So thank you to the organizers. Yeah, doing amazing work there. My dad seems to have a lot of fun on that.
Incredible. Especially because it's not like they do it like it's their full-time job, but it's not.
Yeah,
so
no, but it's...
They give up a lot of time for that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Sometimes there's things that we pour our hearts into just for the emotional satisfaction of doing so, right? And like sometimes the work and that passion cross over, and other times they don't, and sometimes it's an ebb and flow. But it's wonderful to find those spaces where you feel that you put in energy, and that energy comes back with satisfaction, and you create. In the case of these leagues, it's so cool to create this meta space for people to hang out at and enjoy racing.
Yeah, I think you nailed that. Yeah. It's also beautiful that people put in work, and then so many other people have a good time because of it.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
Yeah. For us, I think what's been so lovely to see since we introduced the custom lobbies, it's really to feel that we've made a toy, and that with this toy, much like Lego, people are taking it and building what they want with it. And that's a lovely philosophy for us to keep moving forward with. Like the more that we can service your guys' capacity to self-organize and create the spaces that you want to see for racing, then that's a very solid measure of success for us, I think.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on into the next one that you wanted to talk about.
Okay, yeah. We have the German Circuit Superstars community, which is very strong. Okay. They keep organizing. Right now, they have a very fun cup that is basically. I feel like it's also like many things are in the spirit of Circuit Superstars, you could say. But this one has a quirky way of actually representing the game's capabilities.
Okay.
Because they randomize the settings, so no one knows what's happening next race. And you could have 500% fuel usage. And 0% damage, or it's always going to be mixed up, so you always have to think on your feet. And
that's very
challenge.
It's very chaotic good in Dungeons and Dragons terms. Very chaotic good of the organizers. Like, let's all have fun, but with chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Nice. How many people would you say participate on that one?
How many people compete? Yeah. I wouldn't know out of my mind, because in the first year I was partaking in every championship there was.
Yeah.
And I toned it down a little bit. So some of them I'm following only as of now. And, and I would say, I can check it very quickly. I don't want to take anyone.
Oh, no worries. It's all good. We can. For everyone curious, I should say we've added links to the description of this video to every single league that we're going to talk about. And maybe we won't get to talk about all of them, but they're all in the links. And there's also linked to StarWrek's video that does an overview of league racing as well. So that's been added to our resources folder, which or playlist, you should also check out. Okay. So let's keep going. I'm curious, Nico, which leagues do you currently belong to? So ICSTC. ICSTC. Which ones did you also participate on? Or which ones are you looking forward to participating on?
I look forward very much to the STC. A lot of TCs in there.
Yeah.
And it's a very professional approach to Circuit Superstars racing. Although I would say that no one should be scared off by that word, because you can learn Circuit Superstars really quickly, and it's not like there is actually any league where somebody who puts in time couldn't participate.
Yeah. Interesting.
But that league, it has commentary, it has team introductions, sponsors, so it's only upcoming, so it's a few months to go until it's actually starting, and there's still spots available from what I know.
Okay.
So I would definitely look into that one, and we are signed up for that one as well, and excited and looking forward to it as well.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. We'll be talking a lot more about that one. I've been very much in touch with Black Rebel, who's a member of the community that leads the organization. It's in partnership with Race Department. So yeah, I'm very excited about following that one. So what's the next one that you'd like to share that you think that viewers would be interested in hearing about? Is there more? Because these are very general, right? Like they cover a range of motorsport. Are there more specific ones that just focus on a specific car, or?
Yeah. Well, the STC would already focus on 2 cars in that case. The ICSTC is completely switching it up. Basically, every race can be a different car. Then there's the WTC, which is the World Touring Cars.
Oh, right, yes.
It's with the Road Rebel, a great car for competitive Circuit Superstars racing.
Yeah, and that one's such a fun starting car. For the longest time, every time that I was introducing someone to the game or demoing Circuit Superstars, I would use either the Vost or the Picino. But I find the Road Rebel quite a good introduction. Like that and an oval, it's just the perfect space to learn.
Yeah, because it's really the small inputs are not so consequential with that car. Right. And still, it looks like a really cool race car. So it's a great combination.
Nice, that's perfect. And so for that one, are they competing on a particular cadence? Like, do they race on a weekly basis, or?
They have schedules. Yeah, I don't. The ICSTC has basically a bi-weekly cadence, and now we are in the summer break, which means we have a 3 weeks break. Or a mid-season break, better. But they are all happening quite regularly. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. So thinking about the new player perspective, is there an ideal league to join if you're a newcomer to Circuit Superstars? You kind of talked a bit about how skill should not be a detriment to start league racing. Do you think that leagues are spaces for players to learn and improve?
Certain leagues do, and certain leagues are more geared towards already fast drivers, I would say. Like I would say the WTC the World Touring Cars. In my impression, that would be a league that people go into who really want to measure themselves against the best.
Okay.
Yeah. While also having fun, so it's not. It's not. But for actual beginners, which oftentimes feel a hurdle of doing the first step, there's two good ways, I think, to get into it. One is Beef Hammer is doing his fun events, which are one-off events where everybody can participate, basically.
Oh, right. Like the latest one, I think, was the Loose Cannons 66
Interstate 66
of Hells. Yes, that was a lot of fun to watch. It was pretty funny.
It was very fun, yeah. And everyone basically in the chat actually partook in that team. In the team. As in, role playing a little this whole American topic, and then in the streams we had American music, and so nice. It was really
embracing the theme a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, and the interstate is such a lovely track. I love the environments that were done for that one, with the diners and the donut shop.
Me too. Yeah, there's a lot to. I would advise everybody to sometimes when you're about to quit in the night with racing, just roll around the track for like 1 or 2 minutes, whatever track it is, and spot all the details that are not always apparent on first glance.
Yeah, I know. There's so many. Okay, so then so we talked about the new player's perspective. For competitive players, what do you think is the best league to start in? Would it be the first one we talked about, ICSTC?
Well, the ICSTC for now it's recognized as the #1 Premier League, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Although it caters to beginners as well, as I said, with the amateur division. But things are moving, so the STC could very quickly
take over.
Their profile being raised, become the more important thing. It will be a constant.
Or there will be two very strong ones, hopefully.
Yeah, two very strong.
That would be interesting. And then, so lastly, some of these leagues require you to be on a team. How would you suggest players go about forming a team and finding a teammate?
That's a cool question. Basically, in my experience, there's usually two ways it happened up until now. One was you either was friendly with another player that you met and had really good experiences on a regular basis. And then so you just basically, you are friends and both want to drive in a league, so you make a team. The most natural way, probably. The other way is people just needing a teammate so that they can actually get a team on the starting grid, and just asking, I have a spot available, who wants to join me? These are just two simple ways. And I think now it's also gonna be more and more with added professionalism, I guess. People are going to form teams also performance-based more and more. To see who do I get along, but who's also getting me a lot of points in the team.
Definitely.
So, these are the three ways I would say how teams are formed at the moment. Friendships. Looking for a teammate randomly.
Exactly. That's lovely. I think just hanging out in the Discord. If you're part of the community or haven't joined us, if you've been shy, Discord is a very friendly space of Circuit Superstars drivers. I have extremely rarely seen anything that doesn't reflect friendly, wholesome, welcoming behavior. And so if you're looking for a team and looking to join any of these leagues, definitely just post there and someone's gonna help. Like there's always a helpful hand in that server.
Very true.
Okay, so I think it's a good time to break onto some community questions. The first one is, and thank you, Crimson, for filtering these. I just need to make a quick note to confirm whether the music got adjusted, because it seems that there was feedback that the music was a little bit loud. I don't know if someone can confirm. It's probably fine. Okay. So let's keep going. The first question is, Nico, what do you eat for breakfast?
Well, that's gonna be a disappointing answer.
Yeah, you don't have breakfast.
I don't eat breakfast. Basically, my first meal in the day is after work in the evening, and basically before I start playing Circuit Superstars.
Well, what do you have for dinner? No, I'm not gonna ask that. Okay, so the question from Alex Jones: do you think weather would be a welcomed addition to Circuit Superstars?
Weather?
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, weather would be a dream, but you know how feasible it is. I think, like, I would imagine that it's quite a complicating thing to integrate, considering that iRacing took about 10 or 12 years now or something.
Yeah.
To implement rain.
Yeah, it's a difficult system. I mean, I would love to build that one day.
It would be amazing if you had wet races and people spin off and.
That'd be so cool. Yeah. One day.
Changing weather conditions, driving.
We need lots of players of Circuit Superstars in order to be able to do that. So join us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Our success will lead to your fun. More of your fun. Jesus.
It's a win-win-win.
A question from my dad, Carlos Mastretta, who's a member of the community as Carleto. Nico, do you have any advice to get quicker for someone that's over 65 years old?
Over 65 years old.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think, like, surprisingly, it seems like Circuit Superstars, you don't really get so much slower with age, it seems like, from what I see, because there's I don't want to call Mike Murphy old at all. He's just a couple of years older than me, but it always makes me happy when I see he's doing so well, because it means his reflexes didn't lose anything.
That's what I love, because like my previous experience at playing competitive games, and I never played at any competitive capacity, but I used to play, because of my work, a lot of RTSs and League of Legends and Dota, Heroes of the Storm, like very twitchy games. And when I was familiarizing myself with the esports scene on those spaces, it was there's very much like an age at which players stop being able to participate at competitive capacity. But I don't think Circuit Superstars is the case, which is really cool. That because I think that, like, a lot of people who used to be RC car competitors, right? Like my dad used to be. A lot of those skills and mental models transfer into what you do in Circuit Superstars. So
100%. Yeah. My father is, I think, 54 now, and we raced a RC race about our last one, I think, 2 years ago.
Okay.
And he's like still just as fast as me. He just is a hothead that makes more errors, but But for advice, I think it would be the same advice as to anybody else. The mind plays a big role in Circuit Superstars. To actually calm your mind while you drive and not think about making errors, because as soon as you think about them, you will make them.
Yeah. That's lovely advice. Yeah. Okay, a question from Palladian. Alberto. It's for a question for Alberto. That's funny. Can we get pre-war GP cars in the game, pretty please? I'll let Alberto answer in the chat if he's watching. From McVision, what can we expect in the next update? That's a sneaky question. You can expect lots of really exciting stuff, and we've shared some of the stuff that you'll be seeing. Some of the most visual aspects of the update are in the names above the cars. Andrew worked on adding that feature, so you can see them now in the race. You can see them in replays. It's a toggle, so you can add them or remove them. John has been working on networking updates and explorations to continue to improve that part of the game. We've been working on ranked and progression system. So this is all exciting stuff that we're still working on. So stay tuned, and we'll definitely be talking more about it in the next month. From my mom, Yermina. Hi, Mom. Minardi, do you have a favorite car and track in Circuit Superstars?
Up until recently, I didn't have a favorite car, but now it's the Road Rebel. Before it was too hard to decide, but I love the Road Rebel.
Yeah.
For track, I couldn't decide. I couldn't decide for track, but nice. the Road Rebel is my favorite car. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a popular one. From a question from Nick. How do you, Nico, prepare for league races? Do you have any tips for those new to leagues or who want to be better prepared?
Yeah, actually, I think it's very similar to real racing. It's actually what I believe. It's the same thrill if you check your heart rate. If you wear a Fitbit or any heart rate monitor, it shoots sky high in Circuit Superstars, as it does in RC racing and in kart races.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer that calming yourself down before a race is if you really care about your result, that's so important. It's like one of the most important things in the whole race, because people will make errors, and the way to avoid errors is by being calm and not excited during the race. So things that help me are starting to nasal breathe like some minutes before the race starts and during the race, and literally sitting down, closing your eyes, doing deep breaths, and try not to think about the race. And I would recommend meditating if you want to do that specifically for Circuit Superstars, but it's a good reason.
No, definitely.
Calming yourself down is the most important thing, and making sure that all your setup on your table, nothing can surprise you, like no pop-ups on windows and no bottles that you can throw over. So make sure you're in your comfort zone and be calm. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
Nice. That's lovely.
And don't over practice, because you will be fatigued by the moment the race starts.
Yeah. And I would say, if I may add, I think just to resonate with a lot of what you're saying and with regards to over practicing, I think we tend to underestimate how much work our brain does while we're offline. So if you have a league race, you know that you're going to be using a certain car on a certain track under certain conditions. The practice that you do the day before on just a practice or just racing with friends or whatever, all of that, your brain takes that and integrates that knowledge. So there's a reason why sometimes, if you're playing a platformer and on a level that is really hard and you get stuck and you try over and over and over again doing a jump, that it's a usual experience for you to leave and come back, and suddenly you get past that. You leave and come back, and suddenly you slice that second or millisecond off of your track time. And so practicing, but also letting time for your brain to integrate that knowledge, trusting that we have this wonderful machine in our heads that is doing all this learning and integration is a good tip.
And it's a super interesting topic, because some out there might think this is all hippie talk, but it's not. It's actually scientific. There's scientific studies about how our nerves are forming overnight. Nerve endings are forming. And in time trials in Circuit Superstars, that's the best way to experience that. If you tried your best for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you actually just walk away for 5 minutes, there is a very high chance that you will get over that barrier that you couldn't before. And that's only the 5 minutes. If you do it daily, Circuit Superstars, you will get better automatically every day, because your brain has muscle memory and it remembers.
Exactly. It builds new connections. Oh, I love talking to you, Nico. That's my quick parentheses.
Me too. Thank you.
A question from Palladian for Caro and the dev team. What's the plan for DLC? He says, I want to fill up the pockets of OFG with money. So where can I buy those sweet new car designs? We are on it, rest assured. Charlie has been working on some incredible car designs, and we definitely have intentions of adding those as DLC. It's important to note that anything we add as DLC would just be an alternative car to an existing category. There will never be such a thing as like you can only participate in this kind of racing if you purchase a car. So stay tuned for more on that. For Mike Murphy, who's Minardi's favorite and least favorite teammate in Minardi Simsport? That's funny. You don't know.
It's a trick question. I'm just gonna say least favorite bottle of scotch.
No,
for the simple reason that that it's exactly the answer that he would expect, because we just have the best time, friendly,
the best banter. I love that. Yeah, he's the best troll I've ever met.
Yeah,
in the loveliest way. In the loveliest way. Yeah. What do you look for in a teammate or team member for league seasons?
Well, like there was some conspiracies in the beginning of our team forming that we just want to dominate, but it was never about that. It was always about friendship with White Vanman and me. So we wouldn't have minded if we would be third, fourth in a team championship. On our website, on minardisimsport.com, you can see that we have 3 core values, and they are fast, friendly, fair, in the reverse order, actually. And that's what I'm looking for in a teammate. So they need to be people who are good representative for the game, because I want to hear only that somebody from my team was helpful and friendly and not mean to somebody. So that's for me very important. Then we have a lot of fun in our internal Discord. Of course, that has phases depending on how much everybody has to do in their own life. But we have a community feel in there, a team feel. We help each other out. We give each other advice. We have banter. So I would say having fun together is a very important part. Being quick is a bonus.
Yeah, that's lovely. A question from Throw the Back, who I believe is Black Rebel. How can you race with one hand, vape with the other, answer chat questions with your nose while winning a race? It's the meditation.
I don't know. I think it's such a funny thing. It happened by accident, because I actually do vape while I drive.
Yeah.
Except just during league races, I don't vape. But it kind of was the birth of this myth that it's so easy for me, but it's not actually. It's just my hand would rest on the other side of the keyboard otherwise.
Okay.
But I do wonder sometimes why my brain works that way. Because you still have some motor.
Motor. Yeah. Oh, definitely. And
it's weird that it's not distracting the other part of the brain, but I don't know. Yeah,
it's muscle memory, right? It's like when you're learning how to drive an actual car, you're so like attentive to like everything you're doing. It's like I just remember being super attentive to every moment, and then eventually you can listen to music and like have a conversation, while you're driving, because all of that stuff is kind of like just integrated, and it's in the background of your brain. You don't have to keep it up front what you're doing. A question for Nico as well. Any tips for being more consistent besides practice?
So for league races, I would say try to just, I mean, it sounds so simple, but try to go a tenth slower than you could. Like, don't go all out, because there's if you go always all out, there is always gonna be that risk. You cannot do 20-30 laps and be certain that you will not spin out or make an error when you are constantly on your limit.
Yeah.
So I realized for myself, just toning it down a tiny bit. I don't mean actually like consciously driving slower, but just don't take the lines that extreme. Don't even go to the risk that you hit the CCD.
Yeah.
That creates a consistency that allows you to take advantage of other people making mistakes who do risk more. It sounds so simple, yeah. And the other things, I would say, really nasal breathing is such a big thing in sports. It's done in many competitive sports now, in real sports, where you would expect people to be absolutely with their tongue out, and they just train themselves to just keep their mouth closed and breathe through the nose. It's a very powerful thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And meditation techniques.
Meditation, yeah. A question from my mom. We're going to do 2 more questions and then wrap up. Nico, do you prefer short or long races?
Long, definitely. I love long races.
Nice.
I wanted like Formula One. One of the races I enjoyed the most was the Interstate 66 recently. Because it was that long. I think we drove like 30, 40 minutes or something like that.
That's a while.
Super fun.
Yeah. And then lastly, a question from Alex Jones. Carol, was the original vision or intention for Circuit Superstars to be more for competitive racing, or was that a surprise development? That is a lovely question. I think like the intention has always been to create a game that enables people to experience some of the most exciting aspects of motorsport. And so I think at the core of that is competitive racing. The creators, Carlos, my brother, and Alberto, came from a background of racing. They really wanted to for a game to exist that evoked some of the experiences that they had when they were cat racing. They didn't race cats. Kart racing. And so what is interesting is that since early access, really the community that has been growing throughout Circuit Superstars is one that naturally wants to compete and play with each other. And so our intention at Original Fire Games is definitely to continue to gear our work towards building a competitive landscape in Circuit Superstars. And we've done what we can as a 7-person team. I'm super satisfied and proud of what we did with custom lobbies, because it seems to have empowered a lot of the community to be more independent. Before, Alberto was supporting with the races on the weekends, which was we had hiccups with that and it was difficult. So now that we've done that, then we can look into the next step. So yeah, competitive racing. It's been a surprise how lovely people have been there, taking ownership and taking initiative of driving it, and it's definitely something we want to continue to grow. So thank you for the lovely question. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap it up there. But as for the exciting news, I'll ask Andrew to display the news. So we're going to be participating on Steam's Racing Fest, which is going to run from Monday, May 23rd, to the next Monday, May 30th. And as I mentioned, for all you drivers that come across this video, if you've been peeking through the fences at the racetrack but haven't really joined Circuit Superstars, this is going to be the week for you, because we're going to run a free weekend. Circuit Superstars is going to be free to play from Friday 27th to Sunday 29th on Steam. Free to play for a full weekend. You can come and test everything Circuit Superstars, join online, join the races, play versus AI, just experiment with Circuit Superstars. So this is now your opportunity. And during the fest, you're going to be able to get the game fully for 25% off. So come and play the game, try it out, and if you like it, hopefully, then join us full time. There's lots waiting for you. Thank you, Andrew. All right. Well, Nico, it's been such a joy to have you on the Pit Lane. You're always such a pleasure to talk to. I'm sure that this is not going to be the last time that I have you over. There's just so much that I want to talk to you always. So I'm excited about the next time that we get to chat. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Do you want to offer a goodbye, Nico, or any closing words?
Thank you very much for having me. I can only return what you said. Very enjoyable to talk here and to have the community rally in the chat and participate in this campfire event.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah. I love that. I love the campfire notion.
Yeah, right. It's how it feels, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you. I'm happy to come on again whenever you want to have me.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Nico. Well, thank you, Nico. Thank you, Crimson, for moderating the chat and sending all those questions. Thank you, Andrew, for making the stream function. And thank you to the community for joining us. Bye.
Bye.